Okay, if you log into your CRM or patient management system that you have right now, you're actually going to find that there's a graveyard. Really, it's a list of hundreds or maybe thousands of names, numbers, and emails to people who opted in either 6, 12, 18 months ago and just completely went ghost, right? So maybe they clicked on that Facebook ad for your Shockwave offer, or maybe they called your front desk and was asking if they take insurance, but ultimately they just never booked. Or honestly, maybe they just did an adjustment and just never came back in again after that. Most chiropractors will look at this and think, honestly, that those are dead leads, when in reality, they're not. If I told you that your next 50K to 100K in revenue is literally sitting in that old exact list? I'm Shane, I'm the owner of Island-Wide Automations, and today we're gonna go over the next episode in the Golden BB series, the database reactivation campaign. So I'm gonna show you exactly how to wake up all those dead leads, put them back onto your calendar, and ultimately convert them. And most importantly, do it without sounding like a desperate or spammy car salesman. Before I actually show you the exact text messages that we do in the AI workflow, we do have to address kind of this elephant in the room, and that's really why the clinic owners don't reach out in the first place. You're either afraid of bothering them, you're afraid that they're gonna reply stop and leave a bad review. Honestly, if you leave them with a blast text that says, hey, 20% off, adjustments this week only, click here now, yeah, you're basically spamming them. And that's what we call a silver bullet. We don't do silver bullets here. It doesn't work anymore. So let's actually look at this more from like a healthcare perspective. These people reached out to you because originally they were in pain. Either it was sciatica, migraines, lower back issues, whatever it was. Do you think that pain magically disappeared? Most likely it actually just got worse. They really just got busy, okay? Life got in the way. So by not following up with them, you're actually doing them a disservice. Reaching out to them isn't bothering them. It's more of honestly a moral obligation to someone who's raised their hand and says, hey, I'm in pain. So let's actually look at the math because numbers don't lie. So let's say you have a conservative list of 1,500 old leads in your database. Most chiropractors, I would say they're spending anywhere between $50 to $100 to acquire a new Google or a Facebook lead. So that means you've spent already roughly 6 figures, 100 grand to acquire a list of, let's say, 1,500 people, and it's a sunk cost. So now that we go ahead and we run our database reactivation protocol, a baseline, an average response is usually about 10%. So it's about 150 people that will reply to that text. And out of those 150, usually the AI can convert between 15 to 20%. We'll be ultra conservative here, and let's just say 20 people book. If your average patient lifetime value, which basically means however long and how much ever money they've spent with you, let's say out of those 20, your average is $1,500. Those 20 reactivation patients just generated 30K in top line revenue for your clinic. And your customer acquisition cost is zero. You already paid for them. So how do we actually execute this? It comes down to a 3-step framework that we do. So step 1, we have to segment them. So you cannot treat every lead from 30 days ago as the same as a lead from 180 days ago, okay? So step number 2, you want to make sure you send a compliant text, and you don't want to be spammy, like I said. So we actually grabbed a concept from a pioneer in the real estate market, Dean Jackson, who adapted this kind of more for chiropractic. So the goal of this first text is not to book an appointment. The goal is really to get a simple yes or no reply to see if they're still breathing. For a warm lead, the text kind of will really look like, hey Sarah, it's Dr. Smith's office. Are you still looking for some help with that lower back pain that you had? And that's it. There's no links, there's no graphics, there's no pitch. It literally will look like a human is sitting at your front desk and typing it out on their iPhone. So step number 3 is the offer. When they reply, yes, actually, it's been killing me lately, we don't immediately demand that they book. We want to offer at least some value. So, something like, I'm sorry to hear that, Sarah. Dr. Smith actually opened up, 2 more slots this Thursday for a complimentary pain assessment. Would you like me to grab one for you? Now, if you tell your front desk staff to manually text 1,500 people and manage all those replies, they'll quit. It's an administrative nightmare. So this is where the Golden BB of AI automation really comes in. So here's what the system at Island-Wide Automations looks like kind of behind the scenes. First, we're going to throttle out some outbound texts. The second is the system will only send about 30 to 50 texts a day, and this will really keep your phone number safe from spam filters. And then it ensures a really steady, manageable flow of appointments rather than overwhelming your calendar all at once. So we really want to look at a multi-message kind of intelligence node. So, when a patient actually says, hey, I'm interested, the AI reads it and says, for example, if Sarah says, yes, but how much does it cost? The AI doesn't just drop a scheduling link. It is actually trained on the clinic's, facts. So it'll reply naturally. It'll go, our initial assessment is fully covered, by most major insurances, or it's a $49 flat fee out of pocket. Would you like to at least check if we take your insurance? If she replies stop or I moved, honestly, our AI will automatically tag her profile, remove her from that list, and prevent any future messages from going out to her. So no manual data entry is required there as well. So finally, we have the native booking that we're going to have implemented. So when Sarah says, yep, Thursday works, the AI is going to actually read your calendar real time and says, great, I have a 10 a.m. or I have a 2:30 p.m. Which one's better? It books the appointment, it triggers the onboarding paperwork sequence, and it'll notify your staff. So I recently deployed this into a clinic that was just drowning in some admin work. So the doctor was working, 60 hours a week. The front desk is missing at least 30% of their calls. And we took an old list of 2,200 leads, and in 14 days, the AI handled over 400 back and forth text messages, and it booked 34 new appointments. The doctor didn't touch his phone once. The desk didn't make a single outbound cold phone call. That's really what the Golden BB does, okay? It takes boring, overlooked problems, a dead database, and it applies a precise, automated solution that'll fundamentally change the math of your business. Okay, so I know that was a ton of information, but what I want you to do is stop buying these new leads until you've squeezed out all the value out of the ones that you already own. Now, if you are a clinic owner with a database of about, I want to say 1,000 old leads, and you want this exact AI reactivation system installed into your practice so you can more focus on the patient care, there is a link in the description to book a discovery call with me. We'll look at your current tech stack, we'll look at your database size, and I'll give you kind of a rough estimate of how much hidden revenue we can likely recover within the next 30 days. And if you found this valuable, please hit subscribe. In the next episode, we will be talking about the no-show preventer. So how to use AI to ensure every person who actually books walks through that front door. I'll see you in the next one.